Settle yourselves down time then for the penultimate stage of this year's tour of Oman. Glorious backdrop has been provided this year by the great event. It may only be in its early years, but already, yes, it may be the fourth edition. Feigning tiredness, Contador? Absolutely not. The riders absolutely love it. Relaxed atmosphere, as you can see. Cadel Evans clearly not over-celebrating his birthday yesterday. Bradley Wiggins, well, here for Chris Froome, but yes, Froome is more reliant on Richie Porte. Certainly was yesterday to get himself into the red leader's jersey. This is what we're dealing with today. 144 kilometres then for stage 5, and a couple of loop sections with some testy climbs and sprints along the way. Each day it has progressed very, very quickly right from the very off. The rollout today from Al Alam Palace to the Ministry of Housing in Bouchard. Yes, quite posh it is as well. Yes, they rolled out past some of the minarets and the beautiful buildings that dot this part of the world. And Chris Froome in the leader's jersey, kind of just easing his way into a safe place, riding the gutter, if you like, just to get to the front. Taking a late break just before the start today. In a safe place then, out front where he needs to be, and his Sky team in protective mode, as you'd expect. 144 kilometres then to be dealt with, and a tough old day in prospect. A lot of fireworks as well, don't forget, as well as Froome, as they already start to make the breaks out front here. Froome in the leader's jersey, Evans 24 seconds behind him, Contador 25, Nibali 34, and even Rodriguez in the frame, 45 seconds, but it would take something to shake Froome on a day such as today. Climbs in prospect, and this really will start to shake them out along the way. Shakeout time early on, the flower-bedecked highways here, just drawing a number of riders. At the beginning, it kind of settled itself down, finally, to 9, I've got to tell you. Matteo Trentin was one of the big movers out there to get proceedings underway. But they did settle, and when they finally did, it was a solid breakaway out front, for a time anyway. Team Zach Dempster, one of those, the 25-year-old who in the blue and white livery that's becoming more familiar to us now. Yes, out front, former under-23 national time trial champion. It's great to have a time trialing ability to just pull off the nose of a peloton such as this, especially if they're not best-minded to wind you in, and happy to see at least those who are not a threat up front just settle in. Well, that one failed, but there were more in the offing. And Zednik Stybar, there he is, from Omega Pharma Quickstep, but he and Matteo Trentin decided to hit out there and give it a go. Neither a threat. Trentin 11 minutes and 9 down in the standings, but it did draw, as you can see off the front of the peloton, some quality. BMC's Greg van Avermaet went for it. Saxo Bank as well, with Jesus Hernandez, who is a massive workhorse, of course, and has been doing great work in Saxo Tinkoff on behalf of Contador to keep him nice and fresh towards the end. Always manages to get himself up front and then kind of drop back to help his man out if need be. Would that be the case today? Well, Marat Irizar of Radio Shack also in the frame here, with Andrei Grivko from Astana also breaking off Katusha's Alexander Kushinsky. Sebastian Minard from AG2R as well. You can see their familiar brown and white and cream liveried outfit at the back here. And Andreas Schillinger from NetApp Endura, so sort of swapping duties, if you like, with Zach Dempster, who started off proceedings at the beginning of the day. Sky, well, by the time we got to 121 kilometres to go, 1 minute and 45, and the leader's jersey. Wiggo, just written large to the left-hand side, top left of your screen there. And no doubt about it, he has put himself in a terrific position to take his first professional stage race. Amazing. Won stages, but not a stage race, Chris Froome. And yeah, well, he kind of unveiled himself last year, didn't he? He made a big show of going back to help Wiggins. Well, this year, it seems that hostilities buried between those two. Well, indeed, they're better halves. And let's hope that it is a fully supported Chris Froome in the Tour de France. Something that perhaps there were question marks as to whether he offered that kind of support himself to Wiggins, who of course did go on to take it last year. Does suit Chris Froome, though, the course this year, the Tour de France, and he starts as one of the favourites. And why not? So this group of 9 heading out there, and in fact heading towards that first sprint of the day. White horses were showing themselves as suggestion of a breeze out there, but nothing too serious, although the peloton did string out. Nobody in echelons for the time being, but yes, real pace about them. And good to see as well that some of the lesser teams, or newer ones to you perhaps, Bardini, Veloci, CSF, doing a proper job out there. Delacello and Fortin still there. One man who's not here, incidentally, is Sagan. Yes, yesterday we noted that he was really sweating up good and proper on the climb, more so than other riders around him. Turns out he's not very well. So he pulled out at the top of the day here, did not start stage 5. So he's picked up a bug, unfortunately for him. And as a result, the man who did do so much good here, taking a couple of stages, had that leader's jersey. Yes, he is no longer racing in this 4th edition of the Tour of Oman. So the big cuts through the mountains here. Nice for the cars descending on the right-hand side, but for the riders here, proper test. That's what it's designed to be. Oman has mountains, and so it has been kind of a mini Tour de France. We said it a couple of days ago, but yeah, great the good have come here to test themselves out, and so victory here for Chris Froome, should it happen, will be a massive feather in his cap, a pat on the back as well for you know, biding his time, and indeed now has the backing of Sky to do a job, doing a job out front here and pacing up Saxo Tinkoff. They're in heartbreaking mode today. Lucky for Chris Froome, he's got Richie Porte to go alongside him. Seems to be his main ally within the team. Not that allied against him, you understand, but you have to find your workman, and he has got an absolutely solid one in Richie Porte, the Australian, and it's great to see the sort of work rate that he's putting in, looking after his man. Look at this, Contador and Nibali deciding to test everybody out here. What's going to be the response of Froome? Check over the shoulder from Richie Porte. Do you want to go for it? Is the big question for the red jersey. So Nibali with Contador just bouncing off the front here. Well, it's the opening sprint today, taken by Zdeněk Stybar ahead of Minard and Kosinski, just to do a bit of tidying up for you. But heading for this KOM, the opening one, and they'll row through that. But good to see that Contador and Nibali are minded today to go on the attack. Check over the shoulder and look at Richie Porte putting in the work here for Chris Froome to deny Contador and Nibali. Contador going alone, joined as he is by a number of others here along the way. Quick check back over his teammate Hernandez to pick up Willie Bridgeover. Silly question, perhaps. Another long look, and there, just transferring a bit of energy. You saw the hand on there from Froome, just giving Richie Porte notice that he's actually in position here, and attack neutered just for now as they come through another one of these mighty cuts through the mountains here. Well, it's all kicking off. Exactly what we need. First KOM. Hernandez taking it ahead of Stybar and Schillinger, so the first climb today. Relaxed mode when they come off here. This is a loop, incidentally. They've got to go through this pass 3 times before they head for the finish line today, and always good to just relax those legs at a moment such as this. Second KOM taken by Hernandez, Stybar and Van Avermaet. Back in a moment. What a theatre of dreams and possibly nightmares today. Out front, yes, Hernandez doing a proper job here with Contador, who's managed to make the bridge, but so, courtesy of help from Richie Porte, has Chris Froome here in the red jersey. Nibali also on hand, so is Rodriguez, as you can see. And so the big names have managed to get themselves into a rather select group. That opening break, if you like, of 9 men, which was Trentin, Stuybar, Van Avermaet, Irizar, Hernandez, Grivko, Kuczynski, Minar and Schillinger. Yes, joined by the huge names here. Cadel Evans, birthday boy yesterday, did a great piece of retrieval, incidentally, yesterday. We'll see how he goes again today. It doesn't matter how much effort you put into trying to distance Cadel Evans. He just sets his own tempo, and it's a really wearing one. You better have a decent gap, because he will just come back at you, and remains in the frame today. Well, they're trying to put some distance between themselves and the leader's jersey here, and it's Evans and Contador that decide to get off the front here. Well, Froome dropping back, and Evans backing into him as well, as Contador just turns on the juice here, gritting his teeth. Well, he was kind of in hiding, not exactly, not remaining anonymous, of course, but just not putting in the work rate. Well, he's got to do it today, because he's running out of stages, essentially, and Chris Froome knows that. And maybe he'll get an easier ride if he does manage to get up to Contador. He's got a passenger at the moment, same deal as yesterday, I think you might say, but Joaquim Rodriguez happy to be there, and they drift onto the back here of Cadel Evans, who just comes out of the saddle and tries to bed in. So all the big names now solidly together. Well, and yet again, it seems, there we are, just a remaining gap of 8 seconds only. So not quite there just yet. But Chris Froome has been Mr. Tempo, and is prepared to put in the work rate on behalf of others. He got a bit annoyed yesterday, finished second, of course, to the stage winner, but did, of course, managed to take the leader's jersey, courtesy of the bonuses that he picked up there, and indeed starts today with a decent cushion. Rodriguez, who did great work, of course, for Katusha today, maybe just happy to ride the Froome carriage yet again. Out front, Contador, as well, he's managed to stretch that gap by the looks of things. Just pick something at the side of the road and count it back to Froome and Rodriguez to see. But this is shaping up to be a fantastic battle. Will it be just a three-header, or will Evans manage to get back to them? That's a big question. Froome then, being guided at the moment. I think they've decided, both he and Rodriguez, that if they're going to catch Contador here, and they both need it. Rodriguez starting 45 seconds down, incidentally, at the top of the day, and Contador 25 seconds off Chris Froome. Won't be any gifts on a day such as today. Every single bonus that comes their way, they will fight for. They've missed out on the intermediates, but this climb is going to bring some points here to Contador. Charge is on then, and Froome and Rodriguez and Contador. It's a real classy look to it, and Evans still hasn't finished with his day at all. Bouncing away, open-mouthed, hasn't quite thrown a whitey yet, does so when he's hugely exerted, and also the head generally tends to tilt just a little bit to one side when he's on absolutely the rivet. 9.3 to go then. Long old way, and still the cruisers at speed. Nice place to be at the back here, if provided you trust those who are in front of you when you're descending. And look how pacey they're going here. Compare their speed to the cars down below, and you appreciate just how fast these riders are going, probably faster than most cars would really be comfortable for. And look at the pursuit vehicles here with all the spare bikes just drifting out to the side of the road as they try and keep up with the cyclists. Fantastic. Up the head of the course then, relaying duties on the descent. Contador, pretty handy descender. Chris Froome, not bad himself. Rodriguez, possibly there are better men around, but equally he does have some skills that can be useful in situations such as this. And Cadel, of course, mountain biker, he's used to a bit of rough stuff, especially when he's on this kind of pace. So it is still our trio out front, and the gap back to the Evans group, well, visible now. Let's have a look. There they come. Evans, Darrell Impey from Orica Green Edge, Zedek Stybar from Omega Pharma Quick Step. Nocentini from AG2R is here as well. So is Johan Schopp. Did some work for I Am yesterday. He's back in the frame here. Jesus Hernandez, who was working for Contador, is in the mix, and Domenico Pozzovivo from AG2R as well, teammate of Nocentini. But it's all about these three up front at the moment. And what a pace they've got. Just looking back at that chase group, Cadel Evans with a 24-second deficit, Nocentini just under the minute mark at 58 seconds, so is Schopp. And there they are. So Evans has got company, but it's not the company he wants. He wants to be at the top table. And this is where it's at with 6.5 kilometres to go. And at least for now, they've decided to bury the hatchet, not in each other, you understand, but just work together, roll through, and let's make sure that at least it's going to be one of us three that gets this. But the Chargers, well, they've got a little bit more pace about them, and indeed a chance to wind this trio back in. Within sight, the three hairs of the hounds here. And look at that. Predator at work, Cadel Evans. Rock solid, just blowing the old cheeks yet again. 36-year-old cheeks, incidentally. Yes, happy birthday to him yesterday. He'd have liked that jersey, swapping his red BMC for the red leaders jersey here in Oman. But it's Chris Froome that wears that with dignity. It was great to hear him just so calm, almost zen-like, when he talks about the exertions of the day. He lets his legs do the talking, and afterwards, yes, it's always a very, very calm place interviewing the likes of Chris Froome. Rodriguez then just takes the nose here, and they are working solidly, because these boys are after them, 7 of them in fact, and Cadel Evans just letting others do the work, and Omega Pharma and I Am picking that up with 4 to go now, still within sight, but you'd think that they'd be able to pace themselves better than this, but there's a lot of arguments about who's going to be doing the work out front, and as a result, look at this. The trio have decided that, yeah, they can maintain this gap. How much it'll be at the end if they start playing cat and mouse is anybody's guess. So, what's the word? You do a bit more work, says Contador. We're guessing, of course. Can't quite pick it up on the mic at the moment, but yes, chattering away. Yes, hungry for something. So alliance is being formed here, and a lot of conversation going on between these three. They'll be seeing an awful lot more of each other throughout the year. Hopefully, Rodriguez, if the end does come, and it is nigh for Katusha at the top level. I've gone to the Court of Arbitration for Sport after being thrown off the World Tour. He'll disappear elsewhere, but yeah, it's brought some cheer to them yesterday. But yes, oh, hello. Goodness me, that didn't look overly friendly. So, bit of frisson then between Contador and Froome. You're a passenger yesterday, get on with it and do something today, says Froome. We guess. If only we had speech bubbles, it would be amazing. The trio then are up front, and Contador has been told, good and proper, that if he wants to be in the frame here, he's going to have to do some work. There was elbows as well as a little bit of spittle, I think, perhaps, passing in the air. We'll see. Spitting mad, perhaps. So, it's the run for home, and it's about these three. The rest, well, they just can't get themselves together in a proper battling force to wind them in. And as a result, we're going to carry this one home, surely, unless they start playing silly sausages. Yes, I was going to say something else, which was slightly ruder. There we are. Into town, then. Not the most picturesque view of this part of the world, but it is a stunning country, topographically, as well as architecturally. But when you need modernity, and indeed you need the likes of educational institutions and that kind of thing, it's not pretty on the eye, but it's very effective. It's all about the proper functioning of a state. Froome, Contador and Rodriguez then functioning beautifully as we pass, or the chasers pass the 3K to go mark. When will this blow up? And believe me, it will, because there's still a lot of rocking and rolling to be done here towards the end of this stage 5. It's going to be a fast finish for them, but who has got the best sprinting legs here? Well, it's a hard one to pick, really, because these guys are real GCers. So they've kind of got their mountain legs on, indeed mountain heads. And here come the chasers with 2 to go here. Oh, it's that gap is closing. Is anyone going to bother checking over their shoulders to see just how far? And it's Froome that does it. Yes, he looks back and thinks, am I going to have to do this all on my own? Cadel Evans just pulls over and says, I'm not going to work too hard to chase these guys down. It's down to you. And Contador is it that's gone here. It is. Rodriguez just goes in behind, and Froome stays on Contador's wheel. Contador giving it a real roll of the dice here. Last chance, perhaps. Froome stays with him. They may well ease off and have another go in just a few moments' time. Oh, this is fantastic stuff. 3 prize fighters all together, just knocking 7 bells out of each other right now. Contador can't shake Froome. This is a battle that's likely to be raged throughout this season. It's fantastic. Evans picks it up, thinks to hell with you. I'm going to have to do this one on my own. He's used to doing that kind of thing, and he starts time trialing himself right now. A little bit more than that. He's out of the saddle, but what about up front? Oh, here they are, all locked together yet again. They can't shake each other, and it's Froome leading Contador and Rodriguez now as they come to this roundabout. Final turns then. Rodriguez, well, he looks the least capable of all of them. I don't think he's sandbagging either after his efforts yesterday. It was a fantastic performance. Contador looks, see if he can get any help, flicks his elbow out. Nothing in response by Rodriguez here. It's Froome on the nose, and here come the charges. They're still closing down, and Froome picks it up with 1 to go. Oh, has he gone too early here? Contador not responding just for the time being. Thinks he might well blow himself up, does he? Contador and Rodriguez, have they let Froome go? Well, with 1 to go, this is a dangerous strategy by these boys, but Froome is sailing away here. It's a 10-second bonus for him, and suddenly Rodriguez picks up. Oh, it might be a slingshot for Contador here. Froome knows this. He's got to go into sort of time trialing mode right now. Rodriguez is going to make the bridge here. Can Contador dig deep and find something? He's in 3rd place at the moment. Well, this could be this tour being handed over to Froome with 1 stage to go, and Rodriguez has made the bridge here. Can Contador slingshot round here using Rodriguez as a foil? Froome is there and drifts over to the side of the road and has a look and says, see, I can do it as well here, boys. Road's running out right now. Who's going to pick up again? Will it be Contador? Froome has a look over his shoulder just to make sure that that side of the road is guarded. He drifts left and checks right. Clever thing to do, knowing that he can keep everyone within sight. And look at this, 300, it'll be 200 metres to go for the boys up front in just a few moments' time. And Evans, and they know this, and suddenly it's lit up, and it's Rodriguez that hits the front just like yesterday. Froome responds, he drags it back in. Contador is using these 2 guys as a windbreak, essentially. He comes out now, and it's a flat run for the line. Is it going to be Froome? Is it going to be Contador? It's between those 2 right now. Oh, Froome just gets it. What a finish that was. Brilliant stuff. Oh, joy for Froome and Sky, and I think he's taken the title essentially here with 1 to go. Let's check it out. It was a lot closer than we might have thought there at the end, especially when Froome went on after the Flamme Rouge. And here come the chasers. It's academic, but some big names down here, including Nibali, and he's going to be 34 seconds or so down. Goodness me, that was Jeff Soup, I think it was, coming across the line there. Froome then takes the day ahead of Contador and Rodriguez. That's the day's podium. But Froome, genius at work. Uphill on the flat. He's your boy. Let's talk.
I think it comes hand in hand on a stage like today where there were attacks coming all the way to the final there. I think just to stay in red, I had to be competitive in the end there and make sure there weren't any time bonuses taken by the other guys, and most importantly, any splits.
There we go, from the man himself. Froome, Contador, Evans, you 1, 2, 3. Rodriguez now 50 seconds back. Froome, courtesy of his bonification, his bonus there at the end. Now 27 seconds clear. Not too much damage done, I suppose, by Contador, but from Contador. Eddie Merckx looking on as it's the points jersey as well on the back of Froome. Combativity staying with Bobby Traxel and Kenny Elizondo, who did such a good job yesterday. Well done, boys. So party time, all for Chris perhaps. 1 more stage to go. It's the music festival.
Muscat Municipality has created this Muscat Festival every year in February. I think it's the perfect time, the ideal weather, where mostly also schools are closed. And that's why all the inhabitants, the locals can come over to the park to celebrate. Literally entertainment, amusements. I mean, kids, this is an area where children love to entertain themselves. And if you go around the park, you'll see different entertainments. You've got the tradition. The tradition is really portrayed by the craftsmanship. You've got the musicians, you've got the malid. Malid, the performance of reciting. This is also a part of the celebration for a prophet's birthday. The mix here, you've got the fireworks in the evening. Twice in the evening, people can enjoy the different fireworks. You've got the lights, you've got the music, international as well as the folklore here. So I think every mixture, every entertainment is available at this park here.
Is that Vicky Pendleton, part of the fire act? Who knows? See you tomorrow.